started Zen from scratch, starting with a clean sheet of paper.
Zen turned out to be a grounds-up design, which doesn't come along very often.
In the life of an engineer, you get to build something this significant once, twice, if you're lucky, 3 times.
Что, попробовать переводить, что ли?
AMD enables the engineers to go out and innovate and to bring to market what it is that they dream about.
AMD старается приносить инновации, развивать рынок. Я вам представляю нашу новую эру ЦПУ. Теперь время показать вам Ryzen в действии. Мы хотим большинству людей дать перформанс, инновации. В максимально удобную цену.
Acknowledges that there are people who want to create and game on the same PC and need the scalability and need the performance to do that, and that's what's really exciting about the Threadripper chip.
It's our commitment to our customers that we would deliver to the roadmap that we set out, and momentum is now on our side.
The anticipation around 3rd Gen Ryzen is really impressive. Meet the world's first 16-core gaming processor.
Now, in 2019, 3rd Gen Ryzen is it.
What we did in Zen was push well beyond what we thought we could do. It makes me so proud to be able to look back and say that I was part of that.
Our mission with Ryzen has always been clear. It's about making the right bets 3 to 5 years in advance and making sure that they come to fruition. Our goal is to give you the best.
Наша цель дать вам лучшее.
Welcome everyone.
Добро пожаловать.
I've been looking forward to this moment all year, and I know many of you have too. It's been a challenging year for everyone as we've navigated the COVID-19 pandemic globally. But one thing we've learned is just how important high-performance computing technologies really are. From work,
Она говорит, что был тяжелый год для всех. Ковид. Но она поняла, что очень важны хорошие компьютеры. И она очень хочет показать нам новую генерацию платформы.
It's already been an incredible year for gamers. There's so much excitement around the next-gen consoles. We are so proud to power the new Sony PlayStation 5 with a high-performance custom chip featuring our AMD Ryzen CPU and AMD Radeon.
Да, 5-я поиска на AMD платформе.
Custom AMD processors also power the new Microsoft Xbox Series X and Series S consoles. Again, featuring our high-performance Ryzen and Radeon technologies. These consoles are bringing just incredible technology to gamers all over the world and are really a result of just deep engineering partnerships over many, many years with both Sony and Microsoft. Now, gaming is at the heart.
Мне кажется, что они 5600 не сделают таким хорошим, как 3600, потому что 3600 это было жестко.
AMD loves gaming, and we like to say gaming begins with AMD.
Блин, я не знаю, надо ли что-то переводить, потому что все так понятно и примитивно. Типа лучше не перебивать его, наверное.
Now we knew we wouldn't get there in one step, but with each generation of Ryzen, it's gotten better. And we focused on how do we deliver more performance? How do we deliver the best features? And how do we give more capabilities to all of you PC users?
Как же нам дать больше всего возможностей, уважаемые PC-юзеры?
And we've made great progress. We started with Ryzen in desktops, and then we introduced Ryzen Threadripper in high-end desktops. And now, actually, Ryzen is in many amazing notebook systems with our Ryzen 4000 series. I think it's safe to say that AMD loves the PC, and I think also it's safe to say
у тебя слайк из 1600 или какой? 2600?
So we really appreciate that. Now look, let's just focus on the desktop for a few minutes. The progress we have made over the last few years has been really amazing.
Пока она будет рассказывать историю Ryzen в последние года, это, я думаю, надолго.
Desktop PC was on sort of an incremental performance slope for the last many years. Now, over the past 3 years, we've significantly changed that trajectory and really completely reset expectations as we've gone from 1st gen Ryzen to 2nd gen, now to 3rd gen Ryzen. We were the first to launch a 7nm desktop processor, and today, 3rd gen Ryzen leads in so many areas. We're the highest in multi-threaded performance. We are the best in terms of power efficiency, and 3rd gen Ryzen is an absolutely great gaming processor. But as you know, we're really ambitious. So our work with Ryzen is never done. Our engineers have been on this maniacal focus of what can we do more? What can we do better? So today, we're here to talk about our brand new
Ну, наконец-то.
You've all been waiting for it. It's all about Zen 3. And with Zen 3, we focused again on bringing the best to the PC market. I'm so proud of what we've accomplished.
Ну, я могу переводить, но просто я перебивать ее буду. Она вроде говорит просто, но какие-то моменты основные можно переводить. Вот она говорит, что AMD-шные процессоры больше перформанс дают, что в сингл-коре, что в мультикоре. Специалиста по CTO позвали.
Thank you, Lisa. I couldn't be more excited than to share a little bit more about Zen 3 and our progression.
Очень хочет рассказать про Zen 3 и про прогресс, который они сделали. Стартовал 5 лет назад.
Our goal very simply, outright leadership. We set up the team so that development
Хотят быть лидерами.
processor generations could be done in parallel with designers leapfrogging from one generation to another. This has resulted in consistent delivery to the market as promised. I could not be more proud than to help
Параллельно разрабатывать поколение процессоров, чтобы все было поставлено в срок.
It is a beast in performance and will deliver absolute
Настоящий зверь перформанса.
Zen brought us back into high performance with a 52% improvement in instruction per clock in a single generation. It built a strong base for us to build upon
Говорит,
as we
что
developed the Zen family.
Zen Plus на 50% был лучше, чем просто Zen. Хотя это было просто обновление первого поколения. И что 7 нанометров это очень круто. Правда, 2400 в 14 нанометров. И он хорошо себя чувствует. А там 12 нанометров, здесь 400. Во всем лучше предыдущих. Новый кэш, новый буст. Что за мышка? And that accelerates core-to-core communication. That's especially helpful for gaming workloads. That consolidation actually allows every core to directly access the 32 megabytes of L3 cache. And that dramatically accelerates workloads that are latency sensitive, like gaming. And finally, в общем, что-то не поменяли там в дизайне, что позволило увеличить производительность, сократить задержки. Uplift. That's on top of the significant gains that we had just in the mid of last year with Zen 2. Altogether, Zen 3 is our most significant architectural update yet across the Zen family. We made Думаю, что это самый большой апдейт со времен показа Zen процессоров. Wider, more flexible, and allows us to deliver more execution capability to the user at a lower latency. We've increased the number of loads and stores that we can do versus Zen 2, helping us feed those wider execution capabilities of Zen 3. We've added more branch prediction bandwidth. It allows Zen 3 to tackle back-to-back predictions much more quickly, reducing the delays. We call it zero bubble. These innovations keep Zen 3 ahead of the Что-то вроде нейросетки сделали, которая предугадывает действия, предыдущие новые, позволяя сократить задержку в исполнении.
Microprocessor performance engineering never has one single bullet. It takes focused
microprocessor engineering. It's a broad set of improvements that are needed to make a great architecture. It takes innovation on all of the key levers. Zen 3 is a total front-to-back redesign.
Приходится вкладываться в каждый уровень дизайна процессора, чтобы улучшить перформанс.
Caching, load store, our execution units, our prefetching, our dispatch, our decode. Zen 2, in fact, had been organized with 2 4-core cache complexes, and it was tightly integrated. That was a very good design, but what we found...
В общем, Zen 2, я думаю, все понятно по картинке. 2 по 4.
That direct access to 32 megabytes of L3 cache rather than the 16 megabytes that we have with Zen 2. That direct access
Вместо разделения кэша они сделали один большой.
Very significant for gaming. They tend to make frequent use, of course, of the memory subsystem, and in fact, many games have a dominant thread. And that makes especially heavy use of the cache, and that thread now sees effectively twice the L3 cache in Zen 3. So every core
Говорит, что позволяет увеличить в 2 раза производительность в играх за счет только кэша.
And that reduces latency. And it stays synchronized for applications using AI, audio, physics, and more. You can see that we continue our relentless commitment to energy efficiency with every generation. We're always honing
совершенствует энергосбережение.
Focus on performance per watt, even as we make
соотношение перформанс на ватт.
Zen 3 is no different, delivering up to 24% improvement in power efficiency versus the prior generation. That's a double-digit performance per watt uplift in the same process node. And that's on top of all the architectural changes that we drove in to drive up the performance. Our commitment to energy efficiency across time has put us in the driver's seat. Today, we're more than 2.8x more efficient than competing high-end desktop processors. And that's only a strengthening of the leadership that we demonstrated during the prior Zen 2 era. We will not let up going forward. We're focused on execution. Zen 3 is shipping as promised in the 5-nanometer Zen 4 on track, in design. The AMD team is hitting all cylinders, and there's no shortage of innovations for the next generation of Zen processors to keep AMD in the forefront and deliver the best compute experience for our customers. Thank you. And let me welcome back Lisa to now show off our Zen 3 and new Ryzen processors.
Какая-то Лиза. Это
Thank you,
подруга.
Mark. That was great. I'm so proud of what the team has accomplished with Zen 3. We really focused on what is most important for gamers and enthusiasts. And at 19% IPC increase, it's our largest increase generation over generation since we launched the Zen family. So now let's see Zen 3 in action.
Давайте
I'm so
посмотрим,
proud to show
что
you
может
for the
Zen
very
3.
first time the AMD Ryzen 5000 series for high-performance PCs, the world's first Zen 3 powered CPU. This is the AMD Ryzen 9 5900X. 12 cores, 24 threads, and a boost up to 4.8 gigahertz. It's a very special product, the ultimate enthusiast processor. Compared to the 3900 XT, the 5900X has 19% higher IPC, higher clock speeds, and all of the Zen 3 core improvements that Mark talked about, all while remaining at 105 watts. This makes Ryzen 5900X a big upgrade from 3rd gen Ryzen all around, but especially in gaming. Now let me turn it over to Robert Halleck to show you the 5900X in action.
Ну давай.
Thanks, Lisa. Hey everyone, let me give you a sense of just how much faster the 5900X is compared to our current best, the 3900 XT. To do that, we're going to use Shadow of the Tomb Raider, a game I personally love, and a game reviewers often look at to judge CPU performance. We're going to run the built-in benchmark here at 1080p, using the high image quality preset on 2 otherwise identical.
В 1080 показывают.
You can see a whopping 28% increase just by moving from the 39XT to the 5900X in Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Performance.
And as you will soon see, the performance from the 5900X is faster than the competing processors as well. Now, as any enthusiast knows, 28% from a processor change is a massive upgrade. But that's what AMD customers like me can look forward
Чувак, с
to.
какой
This truly
видеокартой?
demonstrates the gaming strength for Zen 3
Это ж
when you
неинтересно.
combine the historic IPC uplift, unified cores, and unified cache pools.
Если
Now, as
с
we zoom out
какой-нибудь
to look
старой
at a
видеокарты
wider set of
30%,
games,
это
you
да.
can see that the
Если с
28%
2080
uplift in
Ti,
Shadow
то
of
в
the
чем
Tomb Raider
смысл?
is joined by many titles with significant double-digit performance improvements. The gains are even bigger in titles like CS:GO and League of Legends, where the highest possible frame rate is practically the #1 priority to be competitive.
Ну, в
Overall,
FPS
gamers
самая главная
upgrading
цель
from
для
the Ryzen 3000 series to the Ryzen
онлайн-соревнований.
5000 series can expect an average performance improvement of 26% at 1080p.
Плюс
Again, this is just a
20%
monumental performance
прироста
jump
перформанса в
for an
среднем.
in-socket upgrade in the same motherboard, and a true testament for how good Zen
Без
3
указания
is
видеокарты.
in gaming. Now, as many know, strong gaming performance relies on strong single-core performance. That's exactly what Zen 3 has. And I want to show you using
Многие игры
Cinebench
полагаются
R20
на
single
сильную
thread.
производительность
There are
одного
many
ядра.
ways to assess single-thread
Zen 3 об
performance,
этом.
but Cinebench is a fast and easy tool
Внезапно.
that you can run at home. And it's one of the 25 workloads that we used to calculate the 19% improvement for Zen 3's instructions per cycle. As you can see, the 5900X
Лучше
is the
исполняющие
first
инструкции.
desktop processor to ever break a 600 score. We don't break it by a little, we break it by a lot with a score of 631. We at AMD heard you loud and clear as you challenged us to continue
Вроде
investing
бы
in single-core
3900
performance.
был быстрее,
The results speak for themselves.
не говоря про
The combination of
3950.
IPC, frequency, cores, and cache give AMD the fastest cores in the desktop market and give you the best possible gaming performance. So let's take that
Говорит
landmark
теперь,
core performance
каждое
into
ядро
a
быстрее
head-to-head
у
battle.
AMD.
Across the same set of games you just saw, the AMD Ryzen 9 5900X
О,
is
минус
a clear
3%,
winner
интересно.
at 1080p. As I promised you, AMD wins in Shadow of the Tomb Raider by +6, and is joined by many other games popular with reviewers and users like you. League of Legends and CS:GO are once again standout victories for the Ryzen 9 5900X.
А Battlefield?
That was a lot of data very quickly. Let's take a step back. Let's recap. You saw an average uplift of
А Battlefield еще не
26%
выиграл.
for Ryzen customers upgrading from the 3000 series to the 5000 series. You just watched AMD deliver the highest single-core performance in the entire desktop PC market. And you just saw AMD clearly offer the best performance of any gaming processor on the market. I will put it plainly. We know that you're going to wait for benchmarks, but customers who buy processors purely for their gaming performance will absolutely want a Ryzen 9 5900X for the best possible PC gaming experience. Now let's bring Lisa back up to give you more details on these awesome
Говорит, что
gaming
каждый
processors.
игрок для максимального гейминга будет брать 5.59 до 0,
Thanks,
но
Robert. That was fantastic. I
игроки
hope
будут
you're
брать
all now convinced that
10900.
the Ryzen 9 5900X is the
Что он
best
соврал.
gaming processor in the world. Now let's look at the stack. In the 5000 series, we have a great choice for every gamer or PC enthusiast. In addition to the 5900X, we have the 5800X, an 8-core, 16-thread
А вот и
processor
58
with
номер.
boost
О,
frequencies
5600.
up to 4.7
65
GHz
Ватт
at
TDP.
105 watts.
Вот это
And we also have the
заскринить.
5600X, a 6-core, 12-thread CPU with boost frequencies up to
612,
4.6
4633,
GHz at
600
65
XT.
watts. Now let's talk about price and availability. The 6-core 5600X is $299. The 8-core 5800X is $449. And the amazing 5900X, combining the leadership performance
Что-то с
and
ценами
power
они, походу,
efficiency of Zen
попутали.
3 in a 12-core 7nm design is priced at $549. And all of these will be available globally on November 5th. We're really proud of
5
the
ноября.
5000 series, but you know we're not done. We love our enthusiasts, and there's one more processor in our stack, which is the ultimate processor for gaming and content creation. For those of you who want the very best processor in a desktop PC, we have the 16-core Ryzen 9 5950X. The 5950X is simply an amazing CPU. 16 cores, 32 threads, and our fastest processor
Так,
with boost
5950,
frequencies up
16
to 4.9
32
gigahertz.
потока.
The
Up
5950X
to.
breaks the Cinebench R20 single-threaded record that
А
Robert
говорили,
set
что вроде
just
будет
a few minutes
4.9
ago
по
with
сливам.
a score of 640. It is truly the
Интересно.
best in class in every dimension. Best gaming
72
performance
мегабайта
means
L2
best
плюс L3
processor for
кэш.
content creation, and all of this still at 105 watts. Now let's take a look at some of the
105
performance.
TDP.
If we look at the generational uplift from the 3950X to the 5950X, we see up to 27% more performance in CAD workloads and 12% more performance in rendering workloads. More impressively, we see up to 29% more gaming performance. And this is really how we bring the best of both worlds together. The best for gamers and the best for creators. And now, if you put 5950X against the top of the stack from the competition, we see that the 5950X provides up to 59% more creative performance in rendering workloads, double-digit wins in video editing and software compiling, and we also win in lightly threaded CAD workloads
В
as
общем,
well.
во всех задачах
We're really proud
лидирует.
of the fact that we also win in gaming. There's
Ну, как
nothing
сказал
like
чел
the
до нее,
5950X in the world.
лучше посмотреть
One
бенчмарки.
processor that delivers the best power efficiency, our highest clock speeds, the highest single core performance in the industry, and the highest multi-core performance of any gaming processor. And it's priced at $799 and will
$800.
also be available globally on November 5th. I
И
hope
тоже
you're now
5
as
ноября.
excited about AMD Ryzen 5000 series
5 ноября,
as
это
I
меньше,
am.
чем через месяц.
Zen 3 is really amazing, and I'm so happy we could show
Zen
it to
3
you today.
невероятен.
But you guys
Я
sent
надо
me a lot of
рада
notes and a
показать его
lot of
нам.
tweets, and I know that you're not just excited about Ryzen 5000 series, but there's a tremendous
О.
amount of enthusiasm and curiosity about our Radeon lineup as well. So the next
Очень
few
много
weeks
людей
are
желают
just an
посмотреть на
amazing
видеокарты.
time for us. In addition to introducing our Ryzen 5000
Это
series,
прекрасное время для
we're
нас.
also going to introduce our next
И
gen
мы
Radeon
собираемся помимо
GPU.
процессоров
And I
показать
want to give you
видеокарты.
a small preview of that today.
5950 или какой? 5950, да. Ну да, 5600 за 300 баксов, он у нас будет 400 стоить. Если не будет обычная версия, будет только X, 400 баксов. Ну да, все будут 3600 покупать. А учитывая, что еще 2600 там продается, то может 2600 за 100 баксов. Ну, бенчмарки у нас есть. Может, там как с 3080 будет огромный прирост, и цена будет оправдана. Все же новый процессор.
On the Ryzen 5900X and our Radeon 6000 series. Just take a look at that performance.
Так, показывают нам игру с флешшейдингом, по которой мы можем оценить, для чего нужна видеокарта, выпущенная в 2021 году.
In addition to Borderlands 3, here's a bit more of a performance preview
Покажите
on
нам
Call of
Crysis.
Duty Modern Warfare and Gears of War 5 at ultra settings in 4K.
Что это за игры? Что это
And
такое?
again,
Слайка,
what we
что
see
они
is
показывают?
tremendous 4K performance across the board. We still have a few weeks until
Показывают игры, в
launch, and the
которых
team
на
is
картах
working
за
really hard on
$400.
fine-tuning things.
Так,
But I
FPS
hope you're as
хорош.
excited as we are about what Ryzen 5000 series and Radeon 6000 series can do together for your next generation PC. So that brings us to the end. I hope you enjoyed today. It's been so much fun spending time with you. We have
Не,
a
это,
lot
конечно,
more
не
to show you later this
презентация Apple.
month, so join us again on October 28th, where we'll give you the full story of our AMD Radeon RX 6000 series. And make sure you mark your calendar for November 5th to find Ryzen 5000 series on shelf
Но все
worldwide.
равно, это не те игры, абсолютно, которые надо мерить. Особенно Warzone, которая специально оптимизирована под мультиплеер, под компетитив. Они еще Fortnite показали. Хотя Fortnite 4К с рейтрейсингом, типа, говорит, душит карты. Но все равно, все равно.